spectacle that everyone was aching to see.
The return of Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean, the defending ice dance champions of the world.
They're standing up all around the building to applaud that performance by Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean. Everywhere, people are standing. The flowers are raining onto the ice. This is quite remarkable. Not just by Jayne and Chris, but everywhere. They seem to have set a new dimension in ice dancing. They have caught the imagination of the crowd. Now we have to wait and see whether they have still the imagination of the judges who, remember, thus far have marked them higher than any other ice dancers. And every judge has given 5.9 for the first set of marks. The technical merit has 5.9 right across the board. And just look at that. 9 6 marks. Every one of them a 6. Well, they've had 11 in total, but they've never had a 6 before. Every judge has given 6. We don't really have to wait, we know. Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean are the World Ice Dance Champions of 1983. I would hate to be the next skaters, with, of course, Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean, the champions. And there it is confirmed. Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean have retained that World Ice Dance title. Barnum Bukin of the Soviet Union in second place, ahead of Blumberg and Siebert. But that's because they've both got the same amount of marks, but remembering that Barnum and Bukin had the better marks in the free dance, and it's that counts. So, Britain's 16th title in 31 World Championships. Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean, for them, it's the third in a row. One marvellous moment of triumph for Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean.
Well, Jayne and Chris, many, many congratulations. We saw the judges' verdict in those incredible marks, but what do the skaters themselves think?
We were very pleased with the performance and we really enjoyed it out there.
It's a bit of an understatement to say you're pleased, surely.
Well, we just enjoyed ourselves. We had a great time and the crowd were fantastic.
Sure. Chris, I know you had some good news just before you went on the ice, didn't you? Can you tell us?
Yes, somebody told us that our parents have been flown out, at least our mothers, and they were watching this afternoon. So I haven't seen them yet. They told us just before we went on.
Why did they tell you? Why didn't they keep it a secret?
Well, I think the thing was, if we suddenly saw them in the audience, we wondered what was going on.
Them and not doing what we should be doing.
Now, your performance was so intricate and so technically difficult. Was there any relief for you when you finally got it through so faultlessly?
Not really, because as I say, we enjoyed it and we just lived the whole thing and had a good time.
I've watched you doing it in rehearsal and practice here all week, but of course it's a different thing, isn't it, when you come out here and the gold medal's at stake. Was there never any worry in the back of your mind that one of those little intricate moves might go wrong?
Well, if you start to think about those things, then they do go wrong, but we just wanted to go out there and do our best, and hopefully that's what we did.
Chris?
Yes, well, the same. We thought when we went on that we were going on for centre ring. That's what Michael's been telling us all week. You're in centre ring, and that's the place to hold, and you've got to hold all the audience and everything there, and that's what we tried to do today.
It was a show, really, wasn't it?
Well, yes, everybody kept saying all you've got to do is go out and perform, and that's what it felt like today.
No nerves at all?
It was surprising. In the past we've had sort of more nerves or butterflies, but today we just felt like we wanted to go on and do it.
Incredible question. Where do you go from here?
See you next year.
So success for Britain once again in ice dancing. Been covering this particular sport for something like 20 odd years, and that was one of the most marvellous presentations and receptions that I've heard during my coverage of Olympic, World and European Championships. And alongside me, of course, one of those champions himself. What did you think about it, Robin?
Oh, it was wonderful. It's brought back a few memories, and it really is just very exciting to be a part of what they are doing.
Where do you think they're going to go from here?
We asked the same questions last year, and
Every year?
They've stunned us again this year, and I'm sure that they will do the same next year. They are definitely in a league on their own, and I think they are very much free to literally do whatever they feel. It's remarkable.
They're so innovative, aren't they?
They have tremendous ideas, and between the two of them and Betty, and it's yes, very, very clever.
Apart from Jayne and Chris, what were your other highlights of the week?
It's very difficult, obviously, to pick one out. I think the thing that has stunned me is the overall technical standard of all four categories. It's risen considerably in just the last sort of 2 or 3 years, and in some ways it's frightening to see, as you say, where did they go from here, and along with the other competitors. But it's been, I think, one of the most exciting championships for me.
And I think it's been one of the most exciting championships for me, and of course particularly with that final performance by Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean. So, on behalf of all of the BBC team here in Helsinki, we hope you enjoyed our coverage, and we say goodbye until next year.